Yo, peace, 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 peace. My bad, man. I highly apologize for the interruption. My computer was acting a little weird. It was acting real weird. And so I had to fix that. I want to make sure that I produce things of quality for you guys. So yeah, we're gonna go straight into this video. Again, this video is of a Fresh and Fit fan on the Duke and Don show. And he is definitely the example of what they are producing from what they are teaching people. And it's not even about the messaging; it's about the type of people that are in support of this podcast, and then they are teaching these. They are the leaders for this group of men. Hyper emotional, hyper just hyper everything, and it's kind of disgusting to see this type of thing being taught in the world. But we're gonna go ahead and break down the entirety of the video. I don't think I'm gonna do the whole video because a lot of the points that I'm gonna make are have already been made, or they will they're just gonna repeat themselves, because this young man does not particularly know how to correctly articulate himself, especially when it comes to taking accountability for his own actions. And you will see that this is a trend, especially when it comes to men in the space of the Fresh and Fit podcast. They are entirely their own thing. They're their own representation of what men should be, even though we know that is not what manhood is, regardless of whose barometer you're actually talking about. Even by the Fresh and Fit's barometer, from what they say, not from what they do, from what they say, is not a display of true masculinity or manhood, which is why they are in the hot seat at the moment, because they are not who they say they are. But like I said, this is who they've always been, even since the beginning. It wasn't that they were going hard on the absolute facts of the matter. They were exerting a form of revenge, so to say, on the women who may have tormented them when they were younger, or because you have these guys are not natives to America. I don't think they're directly natives to America. They may be first generation Americans. I'm not sure, but I know they are not ADOS, for lack of better words, American descendants of slavery. So with that said, they probably don't have any blood in the battle as it pertains to the sector of the black manosphere, into which I am not a subscriber to the manosphere as an ideology. I do see some things, that the critiques that the manosphere brings to YouTube are very fair in most of the cases. They're very fair assessments. Sometimes they get into the generalization aspect, which I'm not a fan of generalizations. I kind of like to talk about things on an individual level. However, when we talk about things that are societal norms, we have to process them accordingly. Because a lot of, especially in this situation, like I said in the when we were talking about the Fresh Prince CEO getting his firearm, what kind of example that was, and how the example that he set is something that is very typical, that happens in how they said urban areas, or what we would say in the hood, or whatever you want to call it, in black communities. To which I'm going to but I'm going to go off a little bit. We have to remember that black people don't have any communities. We don't have communities at all. Dick Gregory says, one of the things that I agree with him on is the fact that when you have a community, this is where your money is. This is where you buy your groceries from the same people who are in the community. We don't have communities anymore, and we definitely do not have communities anymore. Everything is made in a manner that corporations have come into to provide all of the services, and the services are not localized. So there's no local economy within the black. What I say that to say there's no black economic infrastructure that is there, because we know historically in America, and one of the things a lot of people don't. Somebody mentioned was they didn't understand the race aspect of it. We have to understand where we are. Even though we're Christians, we still have to understand that we are in America, and race is a factor, a key factor in a lot of things that transpire, and the things that have transpired throughout history, as it pertains to this country, regardless if you're black, white, Hispanic, Native American, East Indian, West Indian. It doesn't matter. Race has been a part of many people's history here in America, and how it affects them. So with that said, let's get into this video, because we definitely want to break this one down with these Sucka O.Gs. Shout out to Run DMC, the original Sucka MCs. That's where I got that from. It's a pun off that, if anybody wanted to know, but I guess I'm showing my age at this point. So definitely let's get into this video. So yeah, here we are with this video. This is a guy named 360 Blessings. I guess this is just his screen name on Zoom. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, let's just start the video, man, and get into it. This at the beginning of this video, we're gonna see Duke and Don talking with 360 Blessings, and then Abba is gonna come in and chime in. So let's get it.
Hold up. Let me see if we get Abba on here. I see Abba on there. Let's see if we can get him on there.
I know he's already saying, fuck this nigga. Hey, love you though, bro.
Excuse the language.
I can hear you. Welcome to the stream, man. Appreciate you coming on. What do you have to say to 360 Blessings over here regarding the post and everything?
Hey, young man, I'm not yelling at you. You're good, all right? So it's not going to be hostile, okay?
It's all good, bro.
All right, I'm not coming at you like that. All right, so we're just having a discussion. I'm not going to go wild on you because we disagree. Cool.
Hey, bro. Before we start, bro, I'm a fan, bro. Shout out to you. Thank you for being on the platform.
I respect it. The reason why I wanted to talk to you was not so I could come here and flame you. That's not how I roll. All right. Cool. You guys can see me.
Yeah, we can see you live, nice and clear.
You guys don't have to forgive me. I'm on vacation right now, so the setup is not great. But I figured I would just come on here because I thought it'd be cool to talk and have a good conversation in regards to this stuff, because I appreciate the young blood, and I know we have a difference of opinion surrounding this, but we'll talk, all right? And we'll try to keep everything calm. Cool?
Yep. All right.
All right. So question, what are some of the disagreements that you had with how we handle things in general, Mr. Blessings?
You could just call me 360, sir. My biggest gripe was, sir, I didn't find it appropriate on how you guys went on the platform at first, and you guys didn't say nothing. And let me just finish my whole train of thought. You guys didn't say nothing. Not only did you not say nothing, your colleague or associate or friend Preach was just being passive aggressive the whole time. He was just making, like, he looked like he wanted to take a shit. No offense, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's how he looked.
Excuse the language.
And then you guys addressed it 4 weeks later, and I heard your comeback saying that a fan sent us this and said we should do a reaction. But come on, bro, that sounds like
okay. All right. So can I ask you? Do you feel like the way we covered Myron and Fresh? Do you think like the way we covered those two is any different than how we cover our daily videos every day? You watch our content, so you know. How do we talk about Skippy? How do we talk about Amanda Seals? How do we talk about anyone? Do we talk about them any differently?
The first one.
Hold on, I'll let you talk, right? So I just need you to answer the question. Do we cover them any differently?
The first time, no.
Okay. So we don't cover them any differently. That's one. Two.
But you shouldn't have covered them. You should have said it right then and there, sir.
Have you ever had a conversation with somebody Okay.
See, this is the issue. He wants to. This again. This is an issue. This is what people do all the time. They will try to make what they feel is correct always correct. And I say that to say this young man has no idea. He can't even come. He can't even. He's not even of the ilk to say yes or no to a question, because he knows if he answers that question in a certain manner, it's going to make him look goofy. I mean, he already looked goofy as far as his actions goes, but when it comes to this situation, he couldn't even answer whether Abba and Preach talk about videos any other way. This young man is only upset because they're talking about his heroes. See, when you start talking about people's heroes and telling the truth about people's heroes, that's when they get butthurt. They don't care when you talk about anybody else, but when you talk about other people's heroes, that's when it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight you. And this is an issue because you're putting more weight on other people and other people's opinions, other than having your own mind and your own understanding in the world. It's okay to listen to people and to take bits and pieces of what people have to say, but when it gets to the point where that becomes an ideology that makes your life exist solely to please these people and solely to follow these people, that's when you get into this cult like behavior, and that is destructive to, and it's not only destructive, but it's not conducive to actually having a full conversation about the matter, because everything anybody says from that point of view, it's always going to be right. Those people are always going to be right no matter what anybody says to them. Get me? So if Martin Luther King said, I want you to shoot every government official, and you go out and you do it, and I tell you that Martin Luther King is incorrect and he's dangerous, and you get mad at me, it's not me that's in the wrong, it's you. And the fact of the matter is, they put the battery in this young man's back to do this. They put the battery in the back of their followers to do this. That's called extremism. And that's why I say this is red pill rage. This has nothing to do with making men better. This is red pill rage at its finest. This is red pill rage at its finest. This is the red pill rage community, because red pill and red pill rage are two separate things. They're not one and the same. The extremism that's happening within the red pill community is like the Ku Klux Klan to any other Christian sect. They claim they're Christians, however, they do not have aligned with the ideology of Christ. I'm sorry, they don't. So I can't say that everybody in the red pill community is like this, but this is the ideology that is brought forth from people skewing what the actual message is, and using the skewing of that message to gain power and to gain influence. And that influence, just like it when we talked about when we in the hood, your OG done told you to go out here and go shoot some dudes to show that you loyal, to them, right? To show that you loyal to them, right? And now you sitting up here with a murder charge, and he out here free, probably then did something with your girlfriend or your mama or something. Now you looking stupid because you in jail. They ain't putting no money on your books, and they ain't got no plans for you when you get out of jail. That's what happens. And this young man right here is a prime example of the internet streets and this gang mentality that happens when it comes to these type of platforms. I would never wish on myself to have a big enough platform to influence people in a manner like this, because this is what the Bible speaks of when we talk about sheep's and wolves clothing, and people going to places where only their feelings and emotions matter, and they want to go to places where their ears get itched, their itching ears get scratched. That's what this is. These are wolves in sheep clothing. These are the leaders who say that they have a message for positivity, who are actually creating chaos within the community, and that's not what this is for. That's not what this is about. So let's return to the video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up full screen so you guys can watch it.
Because we didn't expect to have a debate on prostitution.
Fair use,
We
fair
had no
use,
idea.
fair
They
use.
brought it up to us, so we weren't even prepared for it. Okay? That's one. Two, have you ever looked back on something and had thoughts after the fact? You know what I'm saying? You ever seen something, like, had a memory of something you did and then think about it again? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, sir. I have. Yes, sir.
Exactly, right. So that's all that happened to us. That's why we didn't come back. We had disagreements on the podcast, and they were strong disagreements in regards to prostitution. Did we have the same energy? I wouldn't say we did. And if you're trying to make that argument,
why didn't
hold on.
Why didn't you say that?
I agree with you that we didn't have that exact same energy then. But you also have to understand, when we find out later that these guys were actually paying, that these guys were actually, and you can disagree with it all you want, but I'm sorry. If you say, I will not pay somebody with cash money for sex. Why? Because I want burning desire. But then you'll also do afterwards say, I will not collaborate with women unless we get to fuck. That's not burning desire, brother. That's also transactional. You're saying, I will give you clout if you fuck me. Whether it's clout or money.
Excuse the language.
Between those two things, can I ask you?
Sir, I mean, I won't lie. That's a can of worms that's a whole conundrum.
That's confirmed. That's confirmed. Because hold on. You say it's a can of worms. I want to make it clear. Myron on his own podcast admits that he says, I don't collaborate with a lot of these women unless we fucking. He says on his own podcast. So I'm not going off of rumors. I'm not going off some random text messages. He has said this. So you knowing that, I want to ask you, is there a difference between saying sex for clout or sex for money?
Bro, I mean, rappers get fucked off clout all the time, bro. That's not transactional.
That's not transactional.
Bruh, are you kidding me?
It's not transactional.
See, again, the leaps and bounds of logic, and Duke and Dunn having the same reaction I'm having right now. The leaps and bounds of logic that this young man is going through to protect his heroes. People who do not care about this man. They don't care about this man. They could care less about this young man and what he's doing. And as long as it's benefiting them, they don't care. This man is a lone wolf. This is like likened to anybody who they said was a Trump supporter that may have shot some people or something. I don't know. I don't know. But this is likened to that. These people go out of their way to do extreme things for people who they don't know, people who that don't care about them at the end of the day, and people who will not be there for them when it comes to a sad ending. This is blind loyalty. It's not even blind faith, it's blind loyalty to people who don't care, bruh. This is sick. You should not have this much loyalty to anybody, period. I don't care who it is. You shouldn't have this much loyalty to anybody, any man on this earth. You shouldn't. You should not have this much loyalty for any man on this planet. It's disgusting to sit here and say, well, to try to say that for him to explain exactly what the key issue is, and you sit up here and like, oh, I ain't trying to hear that. I don't know nothing about that. That's a can of worms that I ain't even trying to get into. What do you mean you're not trying to get into it? Because that's a part of the entirety of the argument. So what do you mean? Are we not trying to acknowledge exactly what this is? Is that what that is? We're not trying to acknowledge what this really is. Is that what it is? We're not trying to acknowledge that. We're not trying to make it known that this is what it is at this point. Or is it just because it doesn't fit the narrative that we're trying to spread here? It can't be both.
Well, hold up. Why is it not transactional?
Okay, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, bro.
No. I want to ask you. Why is it not transactional?
Because bro, clout could be, bro. That's what women love in men, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And what if women love money in men? What's the difference?
They do too.
Exactly. So what's the difference? How is it not transactional?
It's not the fact that he's gonna give me money. It's the fact that he could provide me with a different lifestyle.
Okay, I'm going to give you the definition of the word transaction: an instance of buying or selling something.
You're talking monetary.
Hold on. Let me finish. An instance of buying or selling something, a business deal. It has nothing to do with cash. People trade gold for services. People trade animal for services. People trade diplomacy for services. The idea of a transaction is not just cash. And you have to ask yourself, I want you to really think about it. Don't argue yet, but just think about it. Logically speaking, if a girl comes to you and she says, I'll fuck you, but only if you post my name on Instagram.
Excuse the language.
Is that really different than if a girl says, I'll fuck you, but only if you give me $5? Think about it. Is that going to make you feel very different?
He got to think about it. He don't know.
No. So then there is no. That's all I'm trying to tell to you, brother. Listen, my thing is this. I'm not trying to tear down black men or anything like that. My thing is this. If you're in a leadership position, if you were a politician for say, and you were corrupt, is me calling out a corrupt politician tearing down the black community if they're hurting the very people that they're supposed to represent?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is these men have a leadership position, right? You look up to them. Maybe you pay for their content. I don't know. There's other guys who pay thousands of dollars to go to their meet and greets to learn from these guys. And if they're not practicing what they preach, if they're telling young men to do things that they themselves are not doing, don't you see how that could be hurtful? We already suffer for such bad leaders. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So I'm just saying this. I can disagree with somebody. You know, if they come on here and they say women are to be objectified and fuck off, that's their choice. I can live with somebody that I don't agree with. That's okay. What I have an issue with is when people lack integrity, when they preach one thing but do the opposite behind closed doors. When they say, guys, pay your taxes, but they don't pay them taxes themselves. You feel what I'm saying?
And this is why we have to think about things and process things logically and not out of our emotions. This is another instance of emotion versus true logic, true understanding, true knowledge, true wisdom. True knowledge and understanding allows you to take things and break them down in a format that is conducive for progress. This young man has yet to not agree with Abba on any of the key factors of any part of the argument. His understanding, the reason, and I was just talking about the hardness of the people's heart, because his heart is hardened towards the truth of the matter. He himself cannot identify. He himself cannot identify with anything being true that takes away from the messaging of the people that he himself subscribes to. And it's hard for anybody to say, I've been a Muslim all my life and this Christian just told me the truth about Christianity or the truth about Islam, and now he wants me to convert to Christianity. This is not, matter of fact, this ain't even a conversion. This is not even a conversion. It's just, I told you the truth about Islam and now you're mad at me, and because you're mad at me, you're not trying to hear anything that I said, even though what I said was the truth. And anybody could tell you the truth, including people who subscribe to the same thing as you. This is, I just told you that your OG was a sucker, and everybody here can see it. Even you can see that he is, and you're mad at me because that's what I told you, simply because it makes them look bad. Not because not because anything other than the fact that it makes them look bad, and you don't want nobody around you to look bad. However, that does not help you or anybody else. I don't care what they gave you. It's not helping you nor anybody else to put yourself in a predicament like this. It's not. Again, so far, this young man has yet to be able to answer any of the questions in a way that makes the Fresh and Fit podcast uh, look good in this situation, other than using his emotional state to try to push a narrative. It ain't about logic. It's about pushing a narrative.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Go ahead, young man.
With all respect, Abba, like yo, when we talk about transactional, I know what transaction is, man. I'm not a fucking idiot, but I'm not trying to come
Excuse
at
the
you.
language. Excuse the
You know
language.
100% what we talking about. Did you? I know. In your mind, it's still the same thing. It's still equated, but we're talking about, sir. Did you open your wallet and take out some blues to go and pay that female for pussy? That's what I can never
But
get my mind around.
you have to understand what he's trying to explain is it's not transactional. Does not.
I
But you're
understand that.
talking strictly monetary though, because there are other things that are a form of transaction that isn't just me trading
I
hands for
understand.
sex.
Look, sir. This is really what triggers me. Is the money aspect. To give money for it, that's the thing that blows my mind.
Okay.
Anything
Can
else?
I ask you? Have you ever had a job?
Of course, I have.
And on your pay stub, what does it say when you get paid?
Hours worked, net pay,
Right.
net tax.
So you understand that when they're giving you money, it's for the hours that you put in.
Yeah.
Right. So they're putting a monetary value on your hours, on your time.
Time
Do you
and effort.
understand the idea that everything?
But see, this
Hold up. Everything is a commodity. That's business 101. Your truck is a commodity. If you said to a girl, I'll fuck you, all I can give you is my truck, that's no better than giving her 30 grand. It has monetary value. Do you understand?
Look, guys.
Hold up. It's important because right now I don't think you understand your argument.
I understand.
Hold on.
No, preach. Abba.
Let him finish. Let him finish. 360. Let him finish.
You said open up your wallet. There is no difference, brother. I'm telling you this. I'm being honest with you. I think right now you're holding on to a terrible idea. I don't know if it's out of pride or I don't know if you're just being stubborn for no reason, but it makes no sense. Hold on. You can't logically explain why it's any different to say, oh, I'll give you clout, and that's not transactional, but then you're saying that money opening up your wallet is. You can't give me a logical coherence. So you need to think about why you're holding on to this so dearly. Go ahead.
So, Abba, if you came here earlier, Duke will confirm that I actually said that it is weird. I don't believe that you should leverage that type of stuff. I would never really do it because of how I was raised. I would never do that. But the thing is, I understand what you're saying from a transactional perspective. Bro, check me out, bro. I understand what you're saying from a transactional perspective, but what bugs me is actually using your money. It's an ego thing. I understand.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. You know what though? I'm not mad at that. But
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, but then you can't. If it bothers you personally, like if you say for me,
that's me.
I never do that. Hold on, I could agree, but you can also have to admit that your stance is not logical, right? It's not, and you can hold up. You can hold on to it, and you're entitled to it. But then to go out and say, well, what they're doing is not that bad. Maybe it's not that bad to you personally, but in the world where we have these general concepts, we all have to agree on certain things. It is 100% transactional to say clout for sex. It is 100% to say transactional to say, I'll give you 2 baby goats if you fuck me. Okay? It's the same concept. Money is, you know what money is? It's just a representation of commodity. That's all it is.
I said I agree with you 100%.
Okay, then.
So then what is your hang up then on the actual understanding that there's a whole ecosystem surrounding it?
No, brother. I think he's explained it kind of clearly. He just holds on to this idea, and I'm not mad at it. So you know what? That's your idea. But just understand.
I understand it. You guys are 100. No, you guys are 100% accurate and right. I'm not disclaiming it.
Yeah.
But I just personally can't do that. I don't believe in that.
And that's okay. But when we're having a discussion about these two guys, and they say don't do transactional sex, yet they do clout chasing sex, it's the same thing. That's what I'm trying to
Yes.
tell you. So it's fine for you personally, and I'm not mad at you. You never have to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that they are doing that. And if you deny that because of your own definition of the word, then we can't have a conversation.
I'm not denying. Look, I said my own
Okay,
subjective.
then we good. If
Listen,
you're not
listen,
denying it, we good.
Abba, listen. I said my own subjective feeling. I know that that's transactional, bro.
Okay.
Then you also have to have the same energy when you're dealing with all the other aspects of it aside from that.
And Abba, listen to this though. You have to understand the fact that don't women leverage pussy for other stuff? Don't
100%.
they?
Yeah,
100%. So
hands down.
What's wrong with him doing? Why is it wrong for him to do it?
It's the overt nature he went about it. Go ahead, Abba.
So here's an example. If a girl says, "I'll let you have my pussy if you let me in this club for free," that's
Excuse the language.
Right.
100%.
Right.
I'm not a hypocrite.
Well, why can't she do it?
But
Why
what
can't she do it?
But my point is, when they come up here and they talk about genuine desire, burning, that's what they say, right? Don't pay for box. Why? Because you want genuine burning desire. Hey, hold up. That's not my word. That's the shit that they say.
You gotta have the souls. You gotta have the souls.
Right? Bro, how you gonna tell me that you out here getting burning desire when you tell these women you're approaching them? You're like, "I'll give you clout if you let me fuck." That's not burning desire. So that's what I mean when I say there's a hypocrisy. Don't you want your leader? Let me ask you. Don't you want the guys you look up to have integrity, to practice what they preach? If a man was telling you to get on a treadmill and work out every day, yet this motherfucker is 400 pounds, would you not look at him funny?
Right, so I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yes or no, bro? Yes or no? Just say it before you move
Look
on.
at that man funny.
Hey, can you stop gumbo diplomacy in my ass? Come on, bro, dude. Like, yo. So I'm pretty sure, right, that these dudes were probably getting pussy when they weren't that high up there, bro. I mean, I'm just saying,
We
bro.
have no proof. So I'm not even gonna assume. What I do have proof of.
We can't say
what I have proof of. I'm gonna tell you what I have proof of 100%. They tell these women, if you want to collab, we only fuck it. That's it.
All of them.
I'm not all of them, but some of them. It doesn't matter if it's all of them or some of them.
That's
That's not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point. You can't tell other people you want burning desire, so don't do transactional sex, and you do it. Do you understand that? There's a hypocrisy there that's big.
Yeah.
That's it, young blood. Listen,
And this is an issue when you can't call out hypocrisy. When you have the inability to call out the hypocrisy of the people who you follow, that makes you look weak, and it actually makes you look like a beta, because you can't form your own opinion, and you don't have a reality that is based off your own understanding of the world. Like, you are a straight beta if you are not able to just conform your own ideas from your own experiences. And this young man, this is gang mentality 101. When you have a gang and or cult and or religious mentality 101. And excuse all the language and everything in the video. I apologize for that, because I know this is supposed to be Christian content, but we have to talk about these things because these are the things of the world that a lot of people need help navigating. Especially our young community, they need help navigating these things. But let's just keep it real. Like, this is gang mentality. This is clique mentality. This is religious mentality. This is all of that stuff 101. This is just groupthink at its finest. And a lot of people nowadays have been caught up in group mentality. That's why we got into this believe all women mentality, or we got into this whole notion of the Me Too movement, cancel culture, and all of this stuff. But a lot of people have confused cancel culture with calling out bad behavior. There's a difference between calling out bad behavior and cancel culture. Cancel culture tells you, regardless if this person is right or wrong, or whenever it happened, that this person should be taken out of society. No, calling people out, calling somebody to the carpet and trying to cancel them are two totally different things. Right now, they're being called to the carpet. They're not being told that they can't be on a platform. They're just being told that their ideas do not fit what it is that they say they are doing. That's all. It's not anything that anybody should really be upset about, because everybody, including this young man, is able to identify things that are incorrect. This is why he went to the young lady's inbox and sent her a horrible message, because he thought that something was wrong with what she was doing. But again, he it's hard for him to even identify that portion of it, because it's about his heroes. It's not about anything other than his heroes and protecting his heroes. It's not about, again, it's not about protecting the ideology. It's about protecting the people who created the ideology. That's all this is, because everything that Abba's talked about had to do with the personality traits of the people, and this young man is defending the personality traits of the people.
I'm not here to go and morally police people. I don't give a fuck what people do behind closed doors. That's their business. What I can't stand is you preach something like a Garrett Jackson who be out here telling these black women that they don't never mess with no man who's unloyal, yet this motherfucker's cheating. How is that different?
I see y'all cover him. I see. Hey, that was a great.
And how did I come at Derek? Let me ask you. How did I come at Derek? Did we not come at Derek?
Like, man, y'all was on his ass.
So what's up? So I tell you, I don't care if it's a nigga I know, someone I work with. It doesn't matter. If you out here being a fraud and you're hurting the next generation of people, you deserve to get called out. That's all I'm saying. And it's the same for me. If y'all came out and found out tomorrow that I'm robbing my mom and I'm doing all this other bullshit, I hope you guys hold me accountable.
Facts.
I hope. You want to know why? Because I'm out here talking about accountability, yet I'm robbing the very woman who brought me into this world. How can I even move in this place? You feel me?
Personal accountability,
There's one key
self-accountability.
thing that you said, right? And I think that if you would have put that in a video, you know how you came in and you just said that you were you remembered it way later on to say that whole thing where something comes to you later on, a thought, and you said it. If you would have said that, I think this would have mitigated so much of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like.
I want you to peep this. I want you to peep this. When I made that, I want you to peep this. When I made that video, the first one that kind of started everything, we had 4 other videos from that same podcast. Some where we agreed and some where we disagreed, that we were going to publish one after the other. Okay. When I put that one out, I didn't even consider that it was going to blow up like this. It was, and I know everyone doesn't believe that because they're like, the art of war. This man was preparing tactics to go. Bro, it's not even that deep. I swear. How could I predict that Myron was going to lose his mind and go crazy like that? And I have emotional. How could I predict that French was going to be like, oh, let's box? You can't make that shit up. You can't write that in a script. So what I'm trying to say, I get what you're saying, and but you know how we film our videos? We shoot them one time. We go straight, we don't prepare, and we just go. So sometimes things get left out. It's not malicious, okay? It's not some big conspiracy. I promise you, brother. If we didn't say that, the only reason is because we just didn't think of it in the moment.
Okay. Let me just end it up on one thing. I know you're a busy guy, man, but can you actually acknowledge the fact that these guys have so many other programs on their show that actually helps men change their life and talk about feelings and things that men go through, how men can't like express feelings and how we go through suicides and all these depressions and stuff like that people don't know? Can you at least acknowledge?
And see, he's trying to appeal to the emotional state of people. Right now, he's operating in an emotional state. He's trying to appeal to the emotions, where Abba is not even talking about the emotional state to which these people help other people. He's talking about the clear-cut morals of the people that are saying what they're saying. It don't matter if Jeffrey Dahmer was nice to everybody he murdered. He still was a murderer. He still was a serial killer. You get me? He might have been nice to the lady at the pharmacy and bought her flowers, or you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't even matter at that point. What matters is the fact that his morals did not stand to what he was presenting. The morals don't stand up to what they're presenting. And that's a key issue. That is a factor in this conversation. That's a key factor in this conversation. And right now he's trying to appeal to the emotional state, vice versa, addressing what is actually being said. And that's kind of deceptive to try to change the conversation and not really address what's being addressed.
Acknowledge that so the general public can see that I'm just not
I
here
want
trying
you to
to.
listen. I want
Yeah,
you to listen. I want you to listen.
yeah.
At the end of the day, the truth remains the truth. Hold on. I'm going to play the clip for you, okay? I'm going to play it because you said, can I acknowledge that they do good things? And I thought that was a really interesting thing to say because literally in that video, what do I say? I say, yes, I can 100% acknowledge that maybe these guys do good things for you. Maybe they teach you about finances. Maybe they teach you about game. Maybe they teach you about how to be a better man.
Credit.
I talk about that. I
Yeah.
talk about that. So when you say, can you acknowledge that? I 100% acknowledge that they can do other things. The same way Derek Jackson
But
may
why do
do
you want
great
to see
things.
them?
Hold
Why
on,
are
hold
you
on.
guys counting them?
The same way Derek Jackson may do great things for women in terms of their self-esteem and all this other. You can't say no. You can't. Hold up, hold up.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. No, no. I want to be clear. This. You can't say these guys do a lot of other good things. Look at the nuance, and then look at Derek Jackson and say he's just all bad. That's not how it
Correct.
works. It's not because it's the guys that you like that they can be looked at nuancely, but then Derek Jackson is just all terrible. No, Derek.
This is the hypocrisy of it. This is the hypocrisy, and this is the not only this is the hypocrisy of the people who follow these people, but the hypocrisy of the people who they are following, because you have an entire cult of people who cannot take the criticism of what it is that they're presenting to the entirety of the community. You have an entire flock of people who subscribe to an ideology. Well, not even then. It's not even just the ideology. They subscribe to people and their ideologies because they're people first. So I'm going to follow you, and then whatever you believe, that's what I'm going to believe. That's what this mentality says. So they're following these people, and they can't be questioned. The leaders can't be questioned. The ideology can't be questioned, and then not only can the leaders and the ideology can't be questioned, the followers can't be questioned in their moral stance in it all. So this is I love the fact that he used the Derek Jackson as an example in this situation, because again, this is the red pill the red pill community to me, in many instances highly mirrors the feminist movement. It highly mirrors. They have their own books, their own media, all of this stuff based off the separation of men and women. And I know that people like to say that, well, Kevin Samuels this, that Kevin Samuels that. Yes, Kevin Samuels is a big voice in this situation, but Kevin Samuels is not these men in these spaces that tell you not to get married. He's actually, when it comes to the red pill community or just the manosphere, well, I don't even think he's red pill. I think he's more, we would call him in the manosphere. The manosphere is the whole of it all, and then you have black manosphere, blah 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 manosphere, and then you have the red pill community, all a part of the manosphere. So these guys are red pill, and the Kevin Samuels and them are just solely in the manosphere. But within the manosphere, Kevin Samuels, who is different from many of these men, he's under the understanding of knowing how the world operates, and he wants to get black marriage to be something that is still on the table. Whereas in the red pill community, they take marriage off of the table completely. I'm not getting married because it's this, that, and the third, and that's just, to me, that's wrong. To me, that's wrong. To me, that's just wrong. We should be out here trying to make sure that we're still pushing marriage as the optimal provision for families here in America. We should not be pushing the same agenda as the feminists. As men, we shouldn't be pushing the same agenda as the feminists. We shouldn't be pushing the same agenda of the devil as Christians. We shouldn't be pushing the same agenda as the corrupt court system. That's not something that we should be doing. We should not be pushing the machine that they've made of separation. Because when they can separate you, they can separate you from your blessings, your assets.
Derek had some good
Shit,
points.
though,
Derek
I
made
listened
videos
to that
that I
guy's
agree
video.
with.
I almost threw up, bro. That dude is a capper, dog. Be careful.
It's like I said, like just like we were talking about with Fresh and Fit. How you talk about they have the Monday show and whatnot to help men and help you with your business and finances. It's the exact same thing with Derek Jackson and some of the messages that he spills to these women. But here's the thing. But does it make the fact that some of the messages that he puts out there is also harmful to those said women he helps? The exact same thing with Fresh and Fit, and I think that's what he's trying to get at.
Hold up, right here. I'm gonna play it for you. Some points. But this is the game. When I was listening to Patrice, we didn't call it red pill. We just called it the truth. These niggas is fronting on some points. That doesn't mean they're not helpful to you. Maybe if you're one of their fans, right? Maybe they help you with finances, fitness. Maybe even they helped you with game. I don't know. But all right. So I mentioned it. I mentioned the fact that they may be helping people with that stuff. I'm not unfair.
I love how
I'm not
Alba
someone who
always
says,
keep the
throw the
receipts.
baby out with the bathwater. Okay, I'm not crazy like that. I understand that people are complicated. That just because you're a giant fuck up in one area, that you can't be helpful in others. That's not, the human experience is complex, and that's true for Derek Jackson. The same way it's true for these guys. The same way it's true for everybody. So I agree with you there, but it doesn't change the fact that if you're doing something, it's like a corrupt politician. The corrupt politician may help people from time to time. You should still call out that corruption. It's no different.
Facts.
Last thing I want to say
facts.
is can you tell us about Preach, how he's handling the situation? Is he gonna keep on going at him, or
Hey man, listen, I don't talk to Preach daily about this kind of stuff. I think he's a grown man who makes his own decisions.
All right.
Like we work together on this platform, but he has his own life. So at the end of the day, I tell him, hey, it's your wife, it's your country. You handle that how you want to handle it.
Facts.
going back? Like, are you
But
gonna,
like,
trying to?
Why does that even matter?
It's not my
He's
place.
afraid
It's not my
for.
place. It's not my place to tell him what to do. I can counsel him.
No, I'm talking about both of you. Like, are you guys gonna make another video that's gonna like press them or something, or like
potentially.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna be on their ass until we get that apology, like serious or something. Like it has to be what it is. But here, let me just ask one question to you, 360, real quick, right? While everyone's here. Now, going back to that message you sent, like to Anna Quinn Fitness. Now, what do you have to say in terms of like, is it something that's why not? So you thought that was appropriate then?
I'm not saying sorry, and this is the reason why. That podcast changed my life. It's done shit. I would not be, bro. You guys just want to hate. Look, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the people on the subscribers and the viewers. They just want to hate. These dudes have changed my life. I was able to get my credit score, rise that up, buy a truck, do all this other stuff, bro. Like,
Okay. Let me ask you.
What? See, this is confusing. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. This right here is highly confusing. It is real confusing. Regardless of what these people have done for you, what you're saying is, yeah, he beat my butt every single day, but I mean, I still love him. What? This man is abusing you. He's using you. But I still love him. I still want to be with him. I still support everything that he do. Even though he beat me, it ain't like it's that big of a deal. Is that what we've come to? Is this where we are now? Where we're okay with the abuse solely because he paid the bills or they're gonna treat me nice on Wednesdays. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Somebody please tell me, because apparently this young man has no understanding of his wires are all crossed. His wires are really crossed right now, and it's solely because I mean, bro, this junk just crazy to me, bro. This thought process is crazy. Everything about this is just crazy, bro. Like, please, somebody help this man.
Let me ask you something.
oh, yeah.
This is interesting. You said you won't say anything about that because these guys improved your life. So you're gonna ride with them no matter what because they helped you out?
I'm loyal, Apple. I mean, yeah, I'm a
So
very.
what happens tomorrow if you find out they're touching kids? You still
bro,
loyal?
like, that's different. Come on, bro.
Okay. No, I just want to understand. So there is a line for you where you stop supporting them, correct?
Bro, it's reasonable, bro.
Okay,
No, there is no line. He don't have a line. He don't have a line.
Saying, as long as these guys don't go too crazy, I'm willing to accept the fact that they do some fucked up
Bro,
shit.
nothing's perfect, bro. Nothing's
See,
perfect.
he don't have a
Come on,
line.
man.
He
I don't
don't have a
disagree.
line.
I don't disagree. Now let me ask you this.
This man
Okay.
has no line.
Do
They
you
could do
think it's
nothing
fair?
wrong. This is just like Trump saying, because this is just like Trump saying, and anybody know me, this is not a diss. It just is what it is. This is just like Trump saying, I can shoot somebody in the middle of the street and they will still love me. This is exactly like that. This is exactly like that. And this is that group think, that group mentality that leads these people astray. You follow these people just because they did something nice and they gave you a piece of information that was beneficial to you. So now you're loyal to these people because of what? Because you could have got that in any book. You could have got, hey, instead of being on YouTube, you could have got that on Wikipedia. You could have got that on Google. You could have got that on going to the library and reading a book. You could have got this information anywhere. But see, this is not about the information. It's about following the people, being in the in crowd. And I highly think that this had more to do with the clout chasing mentality, one, and then he was searching for approval from the people that he follows. He was looking for them to notice him. This is a notice me type of situation. And that's why I said these black boys need true men in their life to follow. Because those men will show them the correct way, the correct manner of doing things, and they will lead them to a better life across the board. Across the board. Across the board. And if these men were really about integrity when they were approached in the manner that they were approached, it would never got personal. It would have stayed what it was. And see, because they are in the ilk of emotional men, all of these emotional men, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. Their fans don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to control themselves. They lack self-control. And any man who lacks self-control in these types of instances is trash. You lack self-control, bro.
That these guys put out her
Your
IG
OGs
and
is
her full
suckers.
name on that podcast for everyone to go and harass her.
Bro, her name, bro. You don't have to. You could type her name into Instagram and you'll see it pop up, bro.
I don't disagree, but listen, they had a private conversation in the DMs, right? And then
And from what it was told when she put out the information of the conversation, she did not dox this man. She hid all of his information, his picture, everything. She hid all of that. But for him to go out of his way on his platform and not only to put the girl's name in the chat for them to go harass her, that's where he crossed the line. And again, these guys don't have no situational awareness. They have no self accountability. They just lack all the way around. They are unfit to be in the positions that they in. To be in the position that they in, they are highly unfit. Like, they should have never been allowed to even still be on the platform doing what it is. And I'm not calling nobody to cancel these guys, but what I'm saying is they should not be still in the conversation. And what I'm saying is they can still have a platform, because we need to be able to critique these other ideologies, but idiotic ideologies. But one of the things is they should not be placed in the same realm as a Kevin Samuel, as the same realm as a MTR, in the same realm as a Abba and Preach, in the same realm as any of the other men that are here to talk about and tackle true male or masculinity.
he said, hold up,
The screen.
no. And then he went to his own podcast talked about this situation, misrepresented it a little bit, and then put it out for his fans, and he put the link to it to his fans and say, y'all can go talk to her if you want. Do you think that's okay to do?
Look, bro,
Yes.
I can't really delve into that
Yes. The
situation,
answer
bro.
is yes.
Of course you can, brother. You DM'd her yourself.
Yeah, bro, because I know what that podcast means. It's done
Yeah,
so much
bro.
for my life.
See?
But that's
Like,
not my point. That's not my point. Do you understand that there's something unethical about taking a person's name and their thing and sending it to your fans so they can go harass the person?
that is 100% unethical. I can't lie about that.
Right.
So
and I'm
why
saying,
did you
if
participate?
in that? Don't you see how that reflects poorly on you as well?
It
You
doesn't.
went in and you sent her a foul message, my friend.
It does. I did because I had to, bro. I had to
You
defend.
had to send her a foul message.
I had to defend the podcast. See? These guys, they know what they saying. They know what they saying. They know exactly what they saying. They will say what the first thing that they'll say is what everybody want to hear, and then they'll tell you the truth. And then they tell you the truth. You gotta listen. You gotta listen twice. And sometimes you can all you gotta do is just listen to what they saying. He know what he's saying. He know what he doing. He knows what he did. He knows what happened. So there is no question of what his understanding of the world is or what his worldview is. There's no question there. Like it really truly is what it is, man. It really is just what it is. This man sat here and was like, he basically sign language. I know what I did, and I'm definitely not afraid of what I did, or I'm not scared of what I did, and I accept what I did. I'm not taking accountability for what I did. But this is women. This is how women speak. I'm not taking accountability for that, even though I did that. You did what you did, and that's all that matters. But that's how women think, bro. That is a female thought process.
Message?
Hey, bro. Look. Okay, let's take it your way, right? If I said, hey, Anna Quinn, I don't like what you did. This podcast is way more than just you. It could teach men so much more. Would I have gotten a response? Would I have been here? Would I have been able to tell these people about how much this podcast is
Clout chasing.
You're moving backwards, bro. I want you to think about this, okay?
It ain't even nothing to think about. Just like his leaders are clout chasers, he's a clout chaser. Birds of a feather flock together. He's a clout chaser. And again, he was seeking the approval. This is he made himself the spokesperson or the PR for the podcast. I had to protect the pod, man. I gotta protect the pod at all costs. I gotta protect these guys at all costs. I can't let nobody damage what we got. They damaged it for themselves. You trying to protect this? You ready to sink with the rest of the boat? That's what that is. And that boat is sinking. They've been losing subscribers left and right for the last week. It's just been losing subscribers.
Earlier, you said something that was interesting. I thought it was kind of crazy, but it was interesting. You said, I can never pay your box. Imagine what your mom would say. Imagine what your mom would find out and think if she found out that you were DMing women foul things because you're very loyal to a friend. Do you think that's a good look? Do you think that's a good look for your character?
Huh? She know I'm kind of crazy, bro. Like I have to do what I got to do. Like some people are just like that. We're not all the same. Look, if I would have done what you guys would have done, hey, this world would be boring. If we were all the same, there's some extreme personalities and characters like myself. There's some calmer people like you and your buddy Preach and Duke and Don. You know what I'm saying?
You went to a woman you don't know to say foul things to her.
Hold up. You can see me out.
You don't know to say foul things to her.
Guys,
you and other hundreds of people. You don't think that. So would it be fine? So let me ask you then. In that case, this is all just entertainment and fun. Should I go to my 1.4 million people, take your name, your image, and then tell them what you think? Do you think that would be ethical?
Look, bro, I'm a nobody. If you want to go and do it, you could do it, bro. I just got me a couple trucks, and one truck, and I'm finna have me another one, bro. I'm nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could go and do it, but it ain't gonna affect me, bro.
Well, I am.
Young man, you know what? If you're the kind of man, if Fresh and Fit is breeding you into this kind of man, I think 100%.
This is always too.
Yeah,
I'm a
no. I'm gonna say this because you're saying out of loyalty to them, you're gonna go say foul things to strangers.
Look,
They don't
I'm
even know
not
you.
loyal to-
I don't
look,
think you realize how crazy you
Abba,
sound
this is
right
what you're not getting. I'm talking about the podcast. I don't care about Fresh and Fit or
They
Fresh and
are the podcast.
No,
Oh, what are
I
you
care
talking
the
about?
material. I care about the material. You're feeding into the person. That's not what I care about.
The person behind the person behind the podcast. What are you talking about? They're the one who created it.
It's
Bro,
crazy to me that you talked earlier about we need to support other black creators and all this stuff, and yet these guys will.
Don't even come there, bro. You're the one trying to break them down and do all this stuff.
It's not breaking
Now
them
he
down.
talking
They
about
assault them
them.
on their show.
Now you're the one that's trying to break them down. You're the one that's trying to break them down. Like I said, you got to listen to these. You just got to listen. That's it. You just got to listen to what they're saying. And just take it in. Because he's definitely fighting for them. He don't want to seem like he not fighting for them because he know by the rules and the standards that they stand on that's beta. That's beta in their world. That's loser. That's a loser type of mentality. And I mean, to most of us who say we stand on our own too, that's some sucker stuff. That's crazy. Nobody in their right mind is just gonna follow somebody like that. Like, it just don't work like that. And if you can't identify yourself as a leader and think for yourself, then you're lost, and you'll never get to where you want to go. You will never truly be successful because you'll always be looking to someone else for your validation. And that's what this is about. This is about him seeking validation from these guys.
Though you haven't even addressed that fully.
You can't.
You know what? This is sad. And I'm gonna tell you, bro. This is sad. And one day, I promise you, bro, you're gonna look back on this moment and realize that you sending that DM and then you coming on this podcast afterwards to defend that shit is crazy. You also need to have some accountability for what you did, brother. Nobody made you go do that. You did, and you owe that woman an apology because what you said was fucking foul.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? If that
Suck
was
a dick thought, bro.
Big facts. Big facts.
I'm standing on what I said.
If I personally knew you, okay, and you said that to my family, I promise you I'd catch you in these streets. That's crazy. Don't be messaging random women crazy shit like that, bro. You're getting too comfortable. And I'm telling you this.
I live in San Francisco, California, bro. If you want to come and see me, I'm outside, bro.
See, that's that.
See, and this is exactly what they
we're
said.
talking about, bro. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about.
But if you want to come see me, bro, I'm not.
Obviously,
you see what he heard. He didn't hear what he said.
Hey man, these are the kind of men that Fresh and Fit are breeding. I'm very sorry to hear that, man. Best of luck to y'all, bro. Peace.
Abba, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, I hope you find it. I hope you learn from this one day. Best of luck to you.
Holy smokes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, that was today's video. As crazy as it is, that was today's video. Like I said, man, this thing was about him seeking validation from his heroes. This is just like any other time where a man wants to get or these boys are looking for attention from their fathers, or they see their heroes as a replacement of their fathers, and they're looking for somebody to fill that void. And that's what's going on here. That is exactly what's going on here. That he's searching for a void that needed to be filled. Instead of filling that void for himself, or finding, or being able to have the discernment to get this understanding in a healthy manner, he chose this direction. So with that said, man, love your neighbor, love your enemy as yourself, man. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemy. Show people in the world true love and what it means to give love and be loved. Just, man, I gotta close this one out because this junk is making me a little flustered. just simply because I understand the ideology, and I just wish more people were taken out of that understanding, because this creates issues in the whole of society. Best of luck to this young man, and my prayers go out to this man that he is healed, in a manner that is conducive to his whole person, not just part of his person. Because the only thing he talked about was his monetary gain from these men. Spiritually, this man is still out of whack. But again, I pray that he be healed, and that anybody who else has his ideology be healed wholly, totally, because this is not the way to go. Love you guys with the love of the Lord. Love your neighbor as yourself, and love God with all your heart. Peace.